Now let's move on to what we have still on this morning on ITV. For this time around, we shall taking a look at the decision to increase the price of PMS, talking about petrol, and also the NLC asking demand for a reversal of that decision by federal government. And joining me this morning via Zoom to take a look at that is an economist talking about Aliu Elias. As we take a look at some of the factors that must be responsible for this. A wonderful morning to you, Mr. Aliu.
Yeah, good morning to you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'm sure you are aware of what is really happening concerning the decision to increase the price of petrol. What do you make of this? What do you think is the rationale behind this decision by federal government to increase the price of petrol?
Right, it's quite surprising, and it comes as a rude shock to all Nigerians that we just saw that increase. And the major thing that actually surprises most Nigerians is that at the time that PMS is available, it is the same time that the price is actually getting increased to 8.95 and other places respectively. So it's not expected at this point because we are still grappling the earlier increments as so it's quite surprising, and we hope the NLC will see reason to actually rescind this decision.
One of your worries is the fact that there is an increase in there's an agreement between NLC and federal government on the minimum wage, increasing it to 70,000 naira. A lot of people have also been wondering, whenever federal government does something like this, there's always a ricocheting effect of that. Most times, there's always an increase in PMS. Would you say the labor, the NLC did not foresee a situation of this? Federal government increased the price of petrol. You need to be not foresee this.
Right, I think right, because when you give them the increment, you told them that every years there will be an increment. You never told them that there will be an increment for pump price. But because it is about $40, and when you look at $40, see that it does not really make a difference even before. And the major shocking thing is that they have not even commenced the payment, of the 70,000 naira now, and you now went and increased the pump price. However, you may say you have given them palliatives that have lasted for 3 months. So I think Labour leader should find a way to really have concrete agreement with federal government when it something like this, because the purchasing power beyond even Labour, the entire Nigerians have been eroded by this increment. I can tell you the little, in fact, we will call it little, it's even beyond marginal. The increment of 617 to 9 to 895, that's for NNPC, because for other regular marketers is about 930, 950, 1000, depends on where you are. It's making a lot of, and it has affected even transport now, and it's going to have multiplier effect on every other things such as rent, such as food, and every other thing that we need to purchase. So I think Labour needs to go back to the negotiating table with the federal government, maybe for them to ask for more, for them to tell the federal government to halt the increment they just established.
In the light of this, a lot of Nigerians are struggling to survive under the goal of increase in PMS. That has also led to an increase in the cost of living. It has a ricocheting effect on so many things. The cost of inflation is on the rise. Cost of things have gone up in the market, and so many other things like that. Some people say because of the excessive debt of the country, that is why the federal government is looking at so many ways to be able to shield the load, thereby pushing the burden on the citizenry. Would you say our debt also contributing to some of the decisions taken by federal government?
Well, I wouldn't say it's our debt. I would only say it's a policy direction of the federal government that is bringing us to this problem. Because you will recall that the first day the president came to the office, he said first subsidy is gone, right? And thereafter, he also floats the naira. So when you float the naira, you remove first subsidy. It is two variables that must not go together at once. You can only use one and keep one to really balance the other one. So the good example now is that you have removed the first subsidy. So the money you are also getting, you are not also enjoying it because you have floated the naira. So the dollar now is 1,600. And remember, we must always remember that crude oil is a global market. It's a global price. It has a global standard. So anything that happens to dollar, anything that happens to our naira will show up in the crude oil. And now that we are devaluing our naira, we have removed the first subsidy. So the two problems is coming together to attack us. Even I can tell you, the federal government may be paying more subsidy than even before. That when we are paying, they're not paying when we are paying earlier subsidy, the dollar was around 400 to 500 naira. But now that we have removed it, and the dollar now is 1,500, 1,600. So it makes no sense at all. So I think it's a policy direction. Most of those things that we embarked on are premature. You know, when things are premature and you embark on it, brings up about problem. Perhaps there are some things you are supposed to look at as a fall back to. For instance, the CNG. Up to now, Nigerians are still struggling to convert their vehicle in CNG. There is no availability of CNG. In fact, I can tell you those that are able to even fix their car, convert their car to CNG, they are now struggling to buy the CNG. They are on queue, just like the way we are queuing for fuel. So it's a double jeopardy. So I think government did not maybe sit down through this policy before they embarked on it.
If you look at the way Amana these things have been handled in the last few months right now, talking about the increase in the PMS, this is the second time it's going to happen under this administration. Maybe that administration came aboard. They said they are removing fuel subsidy. But right now, most times you see people comparing Nigeria to Western countries. But people pay more for PMS in Western countries than in Nigeria. That we should not be complaining. How do you just oppose this with the current economic condition of the masses? And when people compare our economy, the price they pay for PMS in Western world compared to that of Nigeria, does it make sense to do that comparison?
Which is not a good comparison at all. When you want to compare us with countries that have oil like Nigeria, country like look at a lot of them that have oil. The price they sell for local is always different, and that shows the inefficiency of our government in terms of fixing our refinery. How can we have two refineries in Port Harcourt, one in Kaduna, one in Warri? We cannot fix it. You know, successive administration have come. Obasanjo came, Yar'Adua came, Jonathan came, Buhari came, and now Tinubu came. They are finding it difficult to fix our refinery. You could see that even during this Tinubu, they told us about 4 times that their refinery is going to come on board, and up till now it has not come on board. Look at the private sector like Dangote has not only come to fix refinery, fix a gigantic unprecedented refinery, and is bringing out that simply shows that there's a kind of attitude that they don't want to fix that refinery. Because if we have a refinery, it will be government taking the crude oil down to its refinery, give us a good output, and it would have still at our own price at a discounted rate. But now that we are under the goods and cap prices of the international market, especially Dangote is a businessman. You could see when Dangote said, he said he's going to wait for fake NNPC to determine the price. What does that signify? It signifies that Dangote cannot sell it at 900. He may want to sell it at 1,200 or thereabout, and by so doing, he's waiting for government to pay the balance, to cushion the balance, to pay the subsidy, you know, so that he can actually make a profit. And don't blame Dangote. He's a businessman. He is out to make profit. Perhaps he must have borrowed money from banks. So I think our government needs to be up and do to make sure our refineries are working.
So this clamor for making our own refinery to work may not be the solution to our problem. Let's assume that the Port Harcourt refinery and the Kaduna refinery come back on mainstream. and Dangote Refinery also starts to be supplying one. Will this affect the price of PMS in the market for supply to Nigeria? Will it affect it?
Right. If you notice now that we are suffering two things in Nigeria. There is no availability of PMS. PMS is also expensive. And because of that, it's a true problem. So we have what we call when there is a lot of supply, demand will reduce. Supply, demand will be high, just like we are having it now. So it will be market forces that should be done. So in that case, if the federal government is producing, I don't think federal government will want to sell it the amount that the Dangote will sell. And competition. Perhaps if I'm even federal government as I now, I will open the border for everybody to buy and sell. Because if that will be the that so be it. So I think federal government cannot have its refinery working and be selling at the rate at which Dangote will sell. The only thing is that we may have a compromise, which whereby, like we said, federal government will buy from Dangote and will sell to Nigeria. Perhaps Dangote profit would have come. But Dangote refinery brings a lot of things to Nigeria positively. It will create a better surplus. It will create employment. It will also help us in terms of forex. But we shouldn't forget that demand of PMS from Nigeria and the cost of selling it must be low compared to other places. You cannot compare Nigeria that is an oil-producing country to be buying the fuel the way the Cameroonians will buy the fuel. There must be, if the Petrol refinery is working, in
the light of the current situation right now, especially with the value of dollar and naira compared to dollar right now, so a lot of people also believe that the price may not go down for the meantime. But the question right now is, a lot of people talked about, you mentioned CNG buses. We talked about the Marco Polo buses. That so many people have, in the past, it has been used to ameliorate the condition of the people. After we're talking to you right now, let's say for instance what is happening in the Federal Capital Territory. We still find it difficult to get Marco Polo buses to move from one side of the state to another. Same thing is also happening across the state, across the country. Why governors and leaders at different levels have failed to do the needful so that we have to ameliorate the condition since the price of PMS may not go down for the meantime? Why do you think they have not been able to think in that light, that having this kind of situation on ground can help to bring down the cost of living of the masses? Why is it difficult for them to do that?
Right. If you recall, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave each state 10 billion naira to purchase buses that will be CNG driven. But if you look at it now, even up to now, we don't see that happening. Even look at the one NNPC Foundation was able to support. The thing is this: it's beyond you buying long buses. How many people enter those buses? The thing is, there should be CNG at every corner in Nigeria. Let it be available. Let it be available and accessible. When it is available and accessible, most Nigerians, I can tell you a direct experience. I went to a place around Airport Road in Abuja to convert my vehicle. And when I got there, I told them I want to convert. They said, "Oh, sorry, government has not given us materials. We don't have materials." I said, "But it's everywhere that you are converting cars to CNG." He said, "No, we don't have. But please kindly put down your phone number." Up to now, since about a month, I've not seen them calling me. The only place that are reliable along the same airport road, if you go there now to convert your vehicle, it will take you like 3 months. You have to be on the queue. And if you eventually now convert, those that have converted are now finding it difficult to even buy the CNG. They have to queue. The people are queue for fuel. You can see that there is no readiness on the part of the federal government. So I think the state also have a lot to do, because if you are state governors and you are getting more money, because according to what they are sharing now, the FAC allocation has gone beyond 600 billion I used to share before to about 1.2 trillion that they are sharing now. It should reflect in all these things. So they should stop giving palliative. They should do something concrete that will affect the generality of Nigerians, not giving such thing that will last for 1 month, 2 months in a family.
Okay, if a Dangote refinery comes out full steam and start producing PMS like you have been doing right now, and they get directives from federal government, one of the major challenges of fuel subsidy is the fact that government are finding it difficult to be able to manage and also know the extent of the fuel that is being supplied across the nooks and crannies of this country. But with Dangote refinery coming on stream, government can be able to identify or know the number of liters produced daily and how much they can be able to subsidize if they want to. In the light of this and the current price of PMS, do you foresee a situation where subsidy may come back into scene to really help the masses? Do you foresee that situation, especially with Dangote refinery coming back on stream?
Well, for me, Dangote refinery will not make a big difference because, like I said earlier, Dangote is a businessman and he always wants to make profit. You could see that he's now even saying that FEC should determine his price and NLC should determine his price. So if you look at it very, very well, Dangote will not make a lot of difference because Dangote is also expecting government to push in the effect. He wants to sell about 1,200 and he wants government to pay the difference for him. So for me, Dangote will not make difference. But another thing is Dangote said he's going to monitor how much liter is going out and it's going to. There's what we call cross-docking. Cross-docking and transloading can happen. Somebody can go to another particular filling stations and actually change, or actually go to a particular filling station and transload from one truck to the other. And this is called cross-docking. Dangote will not be able to monitor that. So for me, Dangote coming on stream will not help until we have Port Harcourt refinery. Dangote will only help in terms of the economy, in terms of creating employment, in terms of helping in terms of forex. That's what Dangote can do and helping our GDP. But in terms of reducing or killing this subsidy, it cannot happen. It is only government who can start the Port Harcourt refinery, Warri refinery. That will be the what will actually reduce the cost, and they will also not be paid subsidy because they would have factored it into the production process.
You go with all the things that are happening right now. Do you think government should still insist on removal of fuel subsidy?
Well, the thing is government cannot remove fuel subsidy as it is now, because you recall that the challenges is that since the naira is being devalued, they cannot remove fuel subsidy for now because the landing cost of fuel is at around 1,117 naira as at now. So if they remove fuel subsidy, we are still seeing 895 and 930, 1,000. It will be much more difficult for Nigeria. So they only need to manage it and make sure that our own refinery is working. And they should supply Dangote in naira like they say, because I'm not sure they have supplied Dangote at all. That's another problem. Dangote said he need 6 supply in a year, and Nigeria can only assure him of 2 supply in a year. You could see he has to also import, and that is why he cannot sell at the price that Nigeria actually wants. He will always want to sell at a price that he will break even.
A big thank you to you, Mr. Ali, for joining us this morning and shedding light on this issue right there. And hopefully, government will really pay attention and do the needful at this point in time, because it's rising hard on the masses and really tough right there. I'm sure it must have been tough. You also getting fuel this morning to go to your office. How have you been managing in the light of the scarcity of fuel, the hike in the fuel price on the soft side? How have you been managing?
Honestly, it's what we have to be thinking that, oh God, I'm still going out today. How do I get the fuel? It's quite challenging. You think about the money and the queue itself. It's quite challenging.
To you for joining us this morning right there, for being part of this morning on 9 TV. So much right there. Let's take a quick break right now. We'll link up with our Lagos Network.